Bill Gaither is more than just a name in gospel music. He's a man who built an empire of faith through melodies, harmonies, and lyrics that touch the hearts of millions. His voice carried not just music, but a deep spiritual message that resonated with believers all over the world. For decades, his songs and performances became a source of hope and encouragement. Yet, as with many great lives, behind the scenes lay a story far more complex than the smiling face on stage. In interviews, Gaither has reflected on the creative process, noting how songwriting often takes place in solitude. "It's amazing. To me," he once said, "that songwriting is done pretty much alone. At my age, when I get up in the morning, just the thought of being able to sit down later in the afternoon." His words trailed with both gratitude and contemplation, revealing that even in his golden years, the joy of writing a song could still motivate him. But behind those gospel harmonies, behind the sold-out concerts and the countless standing ovations, lies a journey marked by heartache and loss. Over the years, Gaither has endured devastating health scares and the painful deaths of lifelong friends and collaborators, experiences that have tested his faith and resilience. All the while, the public only saw the smile, the music, and the ministry. More recently, whispers began to surface about private struggles, career-threatening decisions, family tensions, and moments of uncertainty that could have ended his public ministry altogether. Gaither has often likened his musical circle to a family, saying, "It's a little bit like a family. My brother and I went through a pretty tense time in our lives too. But your brother's still your brother. Oh yeah, your sister's still your sister." That sense of loyalty has carried him through many storms. The question remains, what price did he pay to keep the music going? Today, we take a deep look at the tragic side of Bill Gaither's story, including his health struggles, personal losses, and the moments that forever changed his career. Bill Gaither's health struggles and retirement in mid-2025, during what was meant to be another joyful Gaither homecoming performance. Tragedy struck. At 87 years old, while performing on stage, Bill Gaither suddenly collapsed in front of thousands of fans. Medical personnel rushed to his aid, stabilizing him before transporting him to a nearby hospital for observation. The incident marked a turning point in his 6-decade-long career. Once revived, Gaither released an emotional statement. "It breaks my heart to say goodbye to what has been my life's calling. After recent health challenges and much prayer, I know it's time to step back and take care of what matters most, my health and my family." His words confirmed what fans feared. This was not just a minor setback, but the moment he would officially retire from touring and regular public performances. Even so, Gaither made it clear he would remain connected to his calling. He planned to continue writing songs from his home studio, mentoring young gospel artists, and spending precious time with loved ones. This shift allowed him to honor his musical legacy while prioritizing his well-being. Advancing age had already brought him mobility challenges, chronic fatigue, and a noticeable loss of upper body strength. In earlier interviews, he openly admitted that daily upper body workouts had become difficult, though he made it a point to walk regularly, often aiming for 10,000 steps. A date to keep moving despite the limitations fans had already begun noticing. His reduced stamina on stage. But the collapse in 2025 was the final sign that it was time to step away from performing. Still, Gaither's love for music never faded. He continued to contribute behind the scenes, drawing on his decades of experience leading the Gaither Vocal Band and the Homecoming Concert Series. When news of his retirement spread, the gospel community responded with an outpouring of love. In gratitude, fellow gospel singer David Phelps called him a true legend whose music will continue to touch hearts for generations. Highlighting the irreplaceable void his absence would create, through it all, Gaither kept reaffirming his hope and faith, as captured in his long-running Gaither Gospel Hour series. But this health crisis was only the latest in a series of tragedies that had touched his life, tragedies that reached far beyond the stage. The tragedies in Bill Gaither's life did not begin with his health struggles. One of the earliest and most personal blows came on April 6, 2001, when his brother Daniel, Joseph Danny Gaither, passed away. Danny was more than just Bill's sibling. He was the original tenor of the Bill Gaither Trio, a man whose warm voice and gentle spirit had helped define the group's sound. Danny joined Bill and their sister Marianne in 1956, and together they recorded classics such as Something Beautiful and He Touched Me. But in the early 1990s, Danny began suffering from serious vocal health problems that forced him to step away from full-time touring. His public appearances became rare, limited to the occasional homecoming event. Eventually, doctors diagnosed him with lymphoma, a disease he fought bravely for 5 years before passing away in Indianapolis at the age of 62. His death was both a personal heartbreak for Bill and a loss to the gospel community that had loved Danny for decades. Only a few years later, Gaither faced another devastating loss, this time one of his musical idols. Jake Hess, the legendary lead singer for the Imperials and later a beloved figure in the Homecoming series, had inspired Bill long before they ever shared a stage. Their friendship and mutual respect grew over years of collaborations. But in December 2003, Hess suffered a heart attack and passed away in January 2004 at the age of 76. His death marked the end of an era in gospel music and left Bill mourning yet another giant of the faith. The following year, tragedy struck again. George Younce, the legendary bass singer and founding member of the Cathedral Quartet, had become a close collaborator through the Homecoming concerts and even performed alongside Bill in the Old Friends Quartet. But Younce's health began to decline in the late 1990s due to kidney failure and heart problems. In April 2005, at the age of 75, George passed away, leaving another empty place in Gaither's life and in the golden era of Southern gospel music. Then came one of the most shocking losses of all. Anthony Berger, a brilliant pianist and longtime Gaither collaborator, had brought unmatched energy to more than 65 homecoming recordings and concerts. His story was one of resilience, having survived severe childhood burns. He rose to become one of the most celebrated keyboardists in gospel music. But in February 2006, tragedy struck during a Gaither gospel cruise in the Caribbean. While performing mid-song, Anthony suddenly collapsed. Efforts to revive him failed, and he was pronounced dead from a massive heart attack at just 44 years old. The suddenness of his passing sent shockwaves through the gospel world and deeply shook Bill, who by then had endured more losses than most could imagine. These friends and collaborators weren't just colleagues, they were part of Gaither's extended musical family. In the years that followed, he honored them through tribute performances, special albums, and heartfelt memories shared with fans. But each loss left its mark, quietly adding weight to the tragedies in his life story. The 2024 Nellen family plane crashed just when it seemed Bill had faced every possible heartbreak. The gospel world was rocked by a devastating tragedy in July 2024. A single-engine Pilatus PC-12 crashed near Gillette, Wyoming, on its way to the Gaither homecoming cruise in Alaska. The crash claimed the lives of all 7 people on board, including members of the Grammy-nominated gospel group The Neelons. Among those lost were Kelly Neon Clark, her husband Jason Clark, their daughter Amber Neon Kistler, Amber's husband, Nathan Kistler, the group's assistant Melody Hodges, and pilot Larry Haney, along with his wife Melissa, who served as board chairman for Georgia's Department of Corrections. The only surviving family member was Autumn Nealon Streetman, the youngest daughter of Kelly and Jason, who was traveling separately because she was pregnant at the time. In the aftermath, the gospel community rallied together in prayer and support. Bill and Gloria Gaither joined fellow homecoming artists to comfort Autumn and honor the memory of those lost. Investigators later revealed that an autopilot malfunction likely led to a dangerous barrel roll before the crash, which sparked a small wildfire upon impact. In early 2025, Autumn released Loving You, the final album by the Neelons, which went on to earn a Grammy nomination for Best Roots Gospel Album. For Bill, it was a bittersweet moment, pride in the music's recognition mixed with the grief of knowing the voices behind it were gone, family health challenges, alongside these professional losses. Bill has also had to face personal challenges within his own family. Around the same time, he announced his retirement due to health issues. His wife, Bill Gaither, revealed that she too would be stepping back from public ministry for similar reasons. Bill, known for his devotion to his wife, has since focused much of his time on supporting her through her health journey. The Gaither family also mourned the loss of key members of the Gaither Vocal Band in recent years. Gary McSpadden, one of the founding members known for his powerful voice and songwriting talent, passed away on April 15, 2020, at the age of 77 from pancreatic cancer. Just weeks later, Jonathan Pierce, another beloved Gaither Vocal Band alumnus, died at the age of 49 while recovering from heart surgery. Each of these events chipped away at the foundation of the ministry Bill and Gloria had built together over decades. But they also deepened his conviction in faith, resilience, and legacy.